I don't know. I don't know. But Vergil, he's right there. He's right there. He's been proven that he belongs with the top fighters in the division. And, who knows? A couple of fights or next fight or whatever the case.
After defeating Ennis and Yugas, Terence Crawford finally responded to Vergil Ortiz's challenge. Ortiz had pushed too far, and the undisputed super middleweight king made it clear. If Ortiz is ready to move up in weight, he'll give him the shot.
Crawford next, if he's still willing to do it, because that's a fight that I've been calling for a while. I think that's a great fight to make happen still.
I'm at 168 now, and I don't go back to the divisions I've left behind, Crawford said. Ortiz should make the big jump, and if he really wants it, let's make it happen. At the post-fight press conference, Ortiz fired back to the crowd. I'm here to fight the best. He demolished Yugas and made it clear it doesn't matter who's next. It could be Bud Crawford, Spence, or even Craig if he's still up for it.
To fight Terence Crawford right now?
I would love to fight him, man. I think he's like probably the #1 pound for pound fighter right now.
Do you think he's out of his peak?
No.
Or is he in his peak now?
I think he's in his peak.
And you're saying you could beat a peak prime Terence Crawford?
I'm saying I believe that I can.
I've been wanting that fight for a while now, and I think it would be an incredible matchup, Ortiz said. I'll keep doing what I do best. That's just who I am. After knocking out Ennis and Yugas in the second round, Ortiz kept his perfect record intact at 24-0 with 22 knockouts. Fans have been clamoring to see him step up, and he's clearly aiming for a big fight next. Ortiz has already faced tough opponents, and he made a strong statement in his 150-pound debut by knocking out Wissam Lima in the first round.
I respect him as a fighter, though. That's the thing. When I want to fight people, it doesn't mean that, oh, I don't like you. Like, let's get it on. It's more like I respect your skills, and I want to.
Ortiz dominated, though many believe his performance could have been even better against a tougher opponent. That's why a matchup between Ortiz and Ennis would be huge right now. Both De La Hoya and Ortiz have been considering what's next after the Yugas victory. Following the knockout, Robert Garcia noted that Vergil Ortiz Jr. has plenty of options beyond just facing your own bannies.
Both, it would do really good numbers on pay-per-view because they should put it on pay-per-view. I think it would do really good numbers on pay-per-view and the gate.
Ortiz defeated Yugas in just 2 rounds, improving to 20-0 and successfully making his second defense of the WBC interim super lightweight title. After the win, he squared off with Ennis in the ring, hinting that a clash between the 2 title holders could be next. However, Ortiz's manager, Robert Garcia, believes his fighter has options beyond Ennis. Speaking to ESPN after the fight, Garcia said, "We're ready for anyone, but we have a lot of choices."
You named your GOAT as Bud Crawford, and I think a lot of folks are surprised because obviously a contemporary, somebody you called out in the past. Why did you rank him as your GOAT?
Well, I think this is going to sound kind of... There was a little bit of a misunderstanding. I thought I could only choose one person.
Sebastian Fondora has to be considered, and so does Errol Spence, Gerald Charlo, and Boots, Garcia said. Any of those big fights could happen, and we're ready for all of them. Ortiz currently holds the WBC interim 154-pound title, while the regular champion is Sebastian Fondora, making a unification bout logical, though Fondora remains tied to former champion Keith Thurman. Garcia believes Ortiz's next fight will headline a major pay-per-view event, no matter the opponent. The renowned trainer says his fighter is already globally recognized and a bona fide pay-per-view star.
Was there in the corner, and you were calling him out. You were saying, "Hey, I will take a fight," because they asked you, "Would you like to take a fight with Crawford?" Yeah, I would like to take a Crawford with him. And moving to today, obviously with his performance against Canelo, do you feel like a fight with Crawford is closer more than ever now?
I believe now is the perfect time for Vergil Ortiz, a Mexican-American, to become a pay-per-view star. The kind of fighter everyone wants to face because it's the most important challenge for them, Garcia said. Any fight is huge. Boots, Spence, Charlo, Fondora, Xander Zaza. All of these matchups are massive and elevate Mexican-American champions. Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya were in the ring to watch Ortiz fight Yugas, but De La Hoya admitted they shouldn't have been there, joking that Boots might now be scared to face Ortiz. He said, "I'm actually skeptical," I told Eddie. "Boots, Don't come watch Vergil live, because you're going to be afraid of what you see.
It's the fight that you want next. Vergil Ortiz against Jaron Boots Ennis.
I think this is the fight that has to happen, man. I think this is it.
It's the best fight in boxing. I think he did a great job. He looked good. But I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. And I'm going to show his team. They've been talking.
Eddie Hearn and I are going to talk to the other side. De La Hoya said, Vergil gives us the upper hand. Let's see if we can make it happen. I'm sure we will once they see how dangerous Ortiz is. The Golden Boy also mentioned that Ortiz might take another tune-up fight, but he hopes to get the financial terms he wants for a showdown with Boots, who is considered one of the best boxers in the world right now.
You know, if it's a good fight, if I feel like it's gonna be a great fight, which of course with Crawford, that's a no-brainer for sure. We got to get past this fight, and we could.
WBC interim super welterweight champion Vergil Ortiz Jr. showcased his power by stopping Erickson Lubin just 1 minute and 30 seconds into the second round at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. With this win, Ortiz maintained his perfect record and sent a clear message to the division. From the opening round, Ortiz displayed his flow and power. Lubin survived the first round, but in the second, Ortiz unleashed a precise combination that trapped Lubin against the ropes, forcing the referee to stop the fight.
Get up, and I'm going to show the world why I'm the best in the world. But like I said,
No one's been talking crazy, bro. Your dad is the first one that said that I was ducking. It's on video. It is on video that he said we ducked and we didn't get no offer.
it don't matter. The time is now. It's that time. Let's get this money.
Ortiz's ability to end fights quickly and decisively was on full display once again, showcasing his speed and accuracy. He's one of the most feared punchers in the super welterweight division, and even the best fighters are eager to see him take the next big step. In a recent interview, Crawford was asked about his next move and whether he and his team had decided on his upcoming fight. He revealed his next bout will be in 2026, with Dmitry Bivol expected to be the opponent, as talks are already underway behind the scenes. I'm not going back to 150 or moving up to 175, Crawford said. We want to reach 160, and Bivol is my goal right now. That's the only fight on my mind.
168. When we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look
Right, not now. It's at 175, yeah.
He probably can't even.
Some critics doubt whether Benavidez can even make 168 pounds, fueling the controversy around a potential mega fight with Crawford. After Crawford's win, Saudi sports official Turki Al-Sheikh suggested a matchup between Crawford and David Benavidez, asking if Benavidez could still make the super middleweight limit. Benavidez had been chasing a title fight against Canelo, but came up short and moved up to light heavyweight. Now, with Crawford the undisputed champion at 168, a fight with Benavidez would give him a long-awaited shot at a major title. Despite Benavidez's size advantage, analysts see Crawford as the clear favorite after his dominant performance against Alvarez.
He's the top gun. He's, you know, I know you got him, Inoue, and Usyk. They all belong in those three. But Crawford probably just put himself...
It does matter because you said that we're the ones talking. We're not the ones talking. Oh, we started talking after you guys started talking. It's retaliation. It's retaliation.
Your manager's talking all crazy. Oscar's talking crazy. It's the timing.
Even though Crawford has made his choice, some believe he might walk away. He just became the first man to be an undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes, has faced nearly every top fighter in those divisions, and has never lost. He could have earned 9 figures by beating Canelo and might seem to have little left to prove. Yet Crawford is undeniably one of boxing's biggest stars, and walking away now would mean giving up a fortune. Canelo is even willing to offer him another fight, which could be extremely lucrative. Plus, Crawford has the ability to compete anywhere from 150 to 170 pounds if he chooses.
But when you look at these fights, you know, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, you know, say, all right, you know, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off, you know.
In the boxing world, Teddy Atlas is one of the most respected voices. On a recent episode of his podcast, The Fight with Teddy Atlas, He discussed what might be next for Crawford. Atlas emphasized that Crawford can fight anyone he chooses. He deserves it right now, Atlas said. He is the man. He's the best. Crawford has likely cemented his place at the top of the pound-for-pound list, and now has the freedom to pick his path. Atlas noted that Crawford wants to drop to 160 pounds rather than staying at higher weights, but he also cautioned, "I'm always worried that when you put on that much muscle, Bud, it will be hard to lose it."
You know, and he's just... to the victor goes the spoils, baby. He gets to choose. He's special. He showed that. Now he gets to choose. He wants to go down. He doesn't want to...
Atlas pointed out that Crawford is smart, and his approach reflects that. He's not going too far. He's only losing 8 pounds. That won't hurt him, Atlas said. Ultimately, the choice is Crawford's. From what Atlas suggests, he'd prefer Crawford stay at 168 pounds rather than dropping to a lighter division, which likely aligns with Crawford's own preference, as it means less weight to cut to remain in the super middleweight class.
You know, really wanting to fight and putting forth the effort into doing what he can do along with me to get this fight done, we wouldn't be fighting. So it's only right that I give him that same, you know,
and I need, so after I do my thing, you know, Saturday night and be victorious, you know, I feel like it's only big name fights from here on out, you know, only main event headlines and pay-per-view headlines, pay-per-view fighting. So that's my goal.
Eddie Hearn, head of Matchroom Boxing, confirmed that talks are ongoing for Crawford to face former unified welterweight champion Ennis and Yugas. Yugas is set to make his 154-pound debut on October 11th against Wismal Lima. Hearn called a potential Crawford-Yugas matchup the best fight in American boxing. While Crawford respects how skilled Yugas is, he also wants the financial terms to make the fight worthwhile. That said, Crawford isn't worried about losing. He knows it will be a challenging fight and sees it as an opportunity for Yugas to prove how great he is. All that remains is to make the fight happen.
That stylistically would be, oh my goodness, is a fight between Terence Crawford and Jaron Boots Ennis.
I don't think I think that's going backwards for Terence.
To that point, Jaron doesn't have the kind of accolades. He doesn't sell to the mass and all these. So this fight was...
When a potential fight with Ennis and Yugas was brought up during Crawford's press conference, the 5-division champion initially said he wouldn't return to junior middleweight. Any fight would have to be agreed upon by both sides. Analyst Karn noted that the challenge is Crawford only wants to fight for big money, and only a few bouts meet that standard. When you talk about Terence Crawford, you're talking about a different animal, a guy whose IQ in the ring is off the charts. To beat him, you need immense knowledge and schooling, Karn said, explaining why he favors a Crawford-Yugas matchup. Crawford had to compete at 147 pounds early in his career, but last year moved up to 150 to defeat Israel Madrim for the WBA title. Yugas was later promoted from interim to full champion, and in April stopped an opponent to unify the ring and WBA titles. While preparing for Lima, Yugas also sparred with Alvarez, but even high-level training couldn't level him up. Alvarez admitted afterward that his body had given out. It was an incredible performance by Crawford. Karn added, "I'm gutted for Canelo, but please, Crawford is finally getting the chance to show how great he is. His resume hasn't reflected everything he could do. At 38, Canelo did well, but Crawford could still move down and win a world title at 160 pounds, making him a 6-division champion." Crawford's victory over Alvarez was clear, witnessed by over 70,000 at Allegiant Stadium and more than 41 million on Netflix. Ennis and Yugas, 28, watched from Philadelphia and has called out Crawford multiple times, calling him a future Hall of Famer.
Surprised by the outcome?
It's boxing, you know, anything happen.
No doubt. My other question for you is, you know, with this win, everybody said Crawford elevated his status. He's the GOAT. Do you think this win puts him on Mount Rushmore or makes him a GOAT in boxing?
In an interview, Crawford reflected on times when people doubted his career path. People were always saying I was broke or criticizing me when I worked for Top Rank. He said, I was making good money, but I always knew I didn't have to box. I could stop anytime. I box because I love it.
Action, right?
What?
Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford wins unanimous decision victory.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on the fight?
I was trying to stay up. It was getting too late, yo. It was like, I think by the time they came on, it was like probably like 1 o'clock or something like that.
It was like 1.
He then reflected on his lasting legacy, saying, "People will still talk about the kid from Omaha, Nebraska, named Bud Crawford, 100 years from now. I fought my way up 2 or 3 weight classes and beat Canelo Alvarez. There's no doubt my name will be remembered and talked about long after I'm gone. That's the point, to leave a legacy."
It's going to get the job done. I am officially picking Crawford to win this fight. It is still 50-50, but obviously...
He says that till he goes to Canelo.
I'm obviously going to say that this is a 60-40 fight, and I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's going to win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
This is going to help Canelo. He's sparring against a great fighter, world champion in Ennis, and like I said
And
before,
maybe it
iron
will.
sharpens iron. And maybe it will. But on the other side, it was interesting to hear your side of how, whether it's the overtraining or I think more the mental side. What if Boots is getting the best of him? How does that affect Canelo going into this fight? Why would you want to even put that doubt in your fighter's head going into...
Crawford's words carry weight, and only time will tell in the coming decades if his promise holds true. On that day, Omaha already seemed convinced. It wasn't just another victory parade. It was a celebration of identity, legacy, and expectation. His home state had become his sounding board, his city, and a co-author of his story. Meanwhile, it's well known that Yugas struggles to stay under 147 pounds, which is why he moved up to junior middleweight. The bigger question now is whether Boots can stick at 147, boxing insiders say.
42-0, waving to the crowd, pumping his fists like he does so well.
And a kid on his lap. I love it. Guys, I'm having a hard time hearing you, but it's hard to hear anything because it is loud. The city of...
My opinion is, I like who I like. You know, I like Roy Jones, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker.
What do you think?
I'm liking Sugar Ray Leonard. I've been watching a little bit of Sugar Ray Leonard and James Toney. So they my top like guys that I've been watching. You know?
It was great to see Stanton in action. While the medical stats weren't ideal, it's hard to judge, and Boots believes he'll perform much better at 154 pounds. That's just the reality. Stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel for all the latest boxing news, highlights, events, and updates. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss our best content.